Dear student, due to coronavirus, school started online classes for your study. So you can subscribe Golden Flower Palia YouTube channel, like and press the bell icon.
Hello students, how are you all? So my dear class 11th students, today once again I am here with the lecture number 9th of class 11th biology. My dear students, in the last 8 videos, last 8 chapters we have completed the chapter number 1, that is the diversity in the living world. That was the basic chapter in which we have studied the basic things regarding with the biodiversity, classification and about the different species, parks, herbarium and how we have to make the preservation. So today once again class 11th students, I am going to start the next chapter, that is the biological classification. This is the chapter number 2. This is the chapter number 2. So my dear students, just do one thing. Have the proper notes with the given videos and the material which is given to you in the PDF files in the WhatsApp group. And after that, my dear class 11th students, today we will discuss the few topics related with the biological classification. In the last topic, in the last chapter, we have completed what is the classification and why there is need of classification. Classification means the grouping of organism on the basis of similar characters, that is the classification. And classification is very important to make our study easy, so that we can have the different kinds of the animals which are similar, different varieties, different species which are very similar to each other, so we can keep their animals into a and plants into a same group. So that is the classification which makes our study easy, so that is called the classification of living organism. So that is called the classification of living organism. In the last videos, in the last chapter, we have discussed that the first of all, the classification idea is given by the Carl von Linnaeus. In that chapter, we have studied the binomial nomenclature. So just like that, my dear students, binomial nomenclature is given for the scientific name. So when the idea of classification is started, that idea is started by the Carl von Linnaeus. First of all, he has given a very important classification. That classification is called two kingdom classification. My dear students, if you will recall your memory, then in the last video when we have discussed last videos, we have discussed the biological hierarchy. In hierarchy, we have studied the different groups like kingdom, like phylum, division, class, order, family, genus, species. In that topic, we have studied that species is a very smallest group of organisms which are very closely related. So, as I told you that kingdom is the broadest group. The largest group of the organism means plants and animals. The largest group of the plants and animal is called the kingdom. It's the largest group. So, all the organisms are categorized into the two kingdom only, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. He has given only two kingdom, means all kind of the organisms were present on the earth at that time. He has included into two groups. First one is Plantae and second one is the Animalia. What characters he has chosen for the classification? He has chosen for the plants, that the organisms which cannot move, they are the plants and they have to follow the process of the photosynthesis. So they are exception. They are the two kingdom classification, and all organisms will belong to the same group, that is the kingdom Plantae. So one character only he has chosen for the classification, that is the movement and photosynthesis. Then after that, in kingdom Animalia, he has included can, not, move and follow photosynthesis. photosynthesis. Second one is kingdom Animalia can move and cannot follow photosynthesis, and they cannot follow the process of photosynthesis, These two categorization he has given for the classification of the organism. But what are the basic drawbacks of this classification? The first basic drawback is that few exceptions we are having. Few exceptions, like for example Euglena, right? Euglena is an example which has both property. Like plants, it can follow the process of photosynthesis. Like animals, it can move from one place to the another place. So according to this classification, it was not clear that in which group we will keep this Euglena. So that is why this classification was not up to the mark. One more exception, that is the virus. Virus is also the connecting link between the living and non-living things, because this virus can live inside the body, and if it is present outside of the living body, it will behave just like the non-living organism. So it was also an exception, and we are having a number of the exceptions to give the drawbacks of this classification. This classification does not tell us, right, not explain eukaryotic, prokaryotic, unicellular, etc. Means this classification of the organism, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia, will not explain us about the eukaryotic cells, prokaryotic cells, and unicellular organism, multicellular organism, mode of nutrition, presence of cell wall, mode of reproduction, and process of the cell division. So what are the remain processes? What are the different life processes which are not explained by this classification? So that is why this classification was failed, and it is not applicable, but we have to study, because the first classification given by the Linnaeus is two kingdom classification. He has started the idea of classification so that the study can become easy. Now after that, three kingdom classification is given by the Haeckel, right? By the Haeckel, three kingdom classification is given, and here's after that the most accepted classification given by the R.H. Whittaker in 1969. In 1969, he has started the idea of classification, and he has grouped the organism into 5. He has grouped the all organisms into 5 kingdoms. Means all kind of the organisms are placed in these 5 kingdoms, and no one organism will not be left after these kingdom. All organisms will be kept in these groups. That is called the kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. So these were the 5 kingdoms classification given by the R.H. Whittaker. According to the new research, new science, new books, whenever you will study, then you will get now the 5 kingdom classification is converted into the 6 kingdom classification. 6 kingdom classification. But that is not the major explanation, but only the slightly difference is that in kingdom Monera we have to keep the all kind of the bacteria. So bacteria and archaeobacteria he has separated, and that is why that kingdom classification is called 6 kingdom classification. But there is no need to worry, just you have to study only the 5 kingdom classification. You have to study only 5 kingdom classification. So come on the topic. that what kind of the organisms we have to keep in these groups and these kingdoms. Again, I am telling you the classification is given just only for making our study easy, so that we can have, because it is not possible to identify the, to study the individual individually, right? To study the organism individually. That is why this classification is given, so that whenever we will have the study of the group, then that study will be applicable for all members belonging to that group. So my dear students, for this classification he has chosen the many aspects. Many aspects he has chosen. For example, nutrition. You can say the mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, cell structure, habitat, cell number, morphology, physiology, chemotaxonomy, chemical nature. Many aspects he has chosen. He has not given the classification only on the basis of the one or two characters. He has classified the organism in a broad group, and he has studied the all aspects of the classification, all the differences in the organism. Then after that he has given this 5 kingdom classification. The kingdom Monera. In kingdom Monera we have to keep prokaryotic and unicellular organisms. Prokaryotic and unicellular organisms. Example, bacteria. Examples, bacteria, archaebacteria. These are the examples of the kingdom Monera. Kingdom Protista, eukaryotic and unicellular organisms and algae. Unicellular organisms and unicellular algae. Example, amoeba, paramecium, etc. We are having a number of the examples belonging to this group 5 kingdom Protista. Amoeba, paramecium, euglena, giardia, plasmodium, chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas is an unicellular algae. Now, kingdom fungi. Kingdom fungi is, we have to keep multicellular and non-green plants. Multicellular fungus, and you can say also unicellular. Also unicellular fungi are also included in this kingdom fungi, and they are called non-green plants. Kingdom Plantae, multicellular and eukaryotic plants, green plants. Okay, green plants are kept in this group. Kingdom Animalia, multicellular and eukaryotic animals. Multicellular and eukaryotic animals. That is called the kingdom Animalia. That is called kingdom Animalia. So once again I am telling you the examples belonging to this group kingdom Monera. All kinds of the bacteria are classified into this kingdom. Kingdom Protista, all kind of the eukaryotic. Eukaryotic, you are knowing very well what are the cells of the what type of the cells are called eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. So eukaryotics and unicellular organisms are placed in this kingdom Protista. Then kingdom Fungi. In kingdom Fungi, all unicellular and multicellular fungus are placed. Fungus are also called the non-green plants like Puccinia, Penicillium, Agaricus, and yeast and Aspergillus. We are having a number of the examples belonging to this group, that is the kingdom Fungi. Now kingdom Plantae, all kind of the green plants which can follow the process of the photosynthesis, and they are multicellular. So multicellular algae and multicellular green plants are included in this group, that is called the kingdom Plantae. Now kingdom Animalia, multicellular and eukaryotic animals. So all kinds of the animals which you can see, which you can look without any magnifying glass, that all kind of the animals are placed into the kingdom Animalia. So as I told you that for this classification the Whittaker has chosen the many aspects like cell structure, mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, cell presence of cell wall, and so many aspects he has chosen and he has studied. Then after that he has given the classification, that is called the 5 kingdom classification. For example, just example, if we are comparing of these 5 kingdoms, right? So the organism in which these group, they are called prokaryotic, and the rest 4 groups, they are called the eukaryotic cells. Okay, organism in this group are unicellular and in this group are unicellular, and rest they are called the multicellular. For example, cell wall in Monera, in kingdom Monera, cell wall is made up of a special type of the carbohydrate, that is called the peptidoglycan. We will discuss in the detail form in the next coming videos. Peptidoglycan. In kingdom Protista, some organisms have cell wall, otherwise the cell wall is not present. In kingdom Fungi, cell wall is present, but cell wall is made up of chitin. Cell wall is made up of chitin. Chitin is also a type of the carbohydrate. Kingdom Plantae, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. It is a carbohydrate. And in kingdom Animalia, the cell wall is absent. So what is that? Just I am telling you the detail summary, not detail. I am telling you the summary related with this classification and how he has given the classification. So you have to study mainly the 5 kingdom classification, and in your syllabus these 5 kingdoms, kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia, these 5 kingdoms of classification you have to follow, and you have to study one by one in broad level in a detailed form. So my dear students, I hope for the today's explanation it is enough. In the next coming video we will meet again with the next topic. Till that, have more practice. God bless you. All the best.
Do self study at home and stay home, save lives. Thank you very much.